Howdy, 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 and welcome to it, everybody, the Chris Salcedo Show on Newsmax TV. Now, for most of last week and all of this week, the Salcedo Show has been focused on several aspects of socialist-democrat hate. We've detailed the left's racism against blacks and Latinos. We've sounded the alarm about their teaching Marxism and hatred of whites through taxpayer-funded government-run schools. And now we can add another element to the left's hate: anti-Semitism. The Socialist-Democrat Party, the home of hate in America, combating the real big lie in tonight's preamble. The biased press and Socialist-Democrat Party claim that liberals are tolerant, rational, and scientific people. Now, that's just a big lie. The cancerous cancel culture does not respect diversity of thought. Socialists routinely dismiss actual science when it conflicts with their political needs. And in recent weeks, Democrats have shown a watching world that they take a backseat to no one when it comes to bigotry. After Senator Tim Scott delivered a stirring and God-centered rebuttal to Joe Biden's joint session rebuke of American values, leftist Democrats came out of the woodwork to blast him. Twitter allowed the term Uncle Tim to trend on their unfair social media platform. Scott was deemed the equivalent of a race traitor, being depicted by one MSNBS commentator as someone who wasn't smart enough to think for himself, quote, having his strings pulled. The Democrats' ugly intolerance culminated with one of their party chairmen, Gary O'Connor, using a racial slur to describe Senator Scott, calling him an Oreo. Now, parents of all races, colors, and creeds have been shocked by Joe Biden's party and their unabashed hate. Parents who believe wholeheartedly in Dr. Martin Luther King's vision for America have started showing up at school board meetings. Parents are letting Democrats know that Americans will not tolerate left-wing efforts to teach racism and hate to our kids. We will no longer allow them to divide us.
In the words of Martin Luther King Jr., I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Now I have a dream that we will implement love, not hate, or supporting another Jim Crow's agenda. CRT is not an honest dialogue. It is a tactic that was used by Hitler and the Ku Klux Klan on slavery very many years ago to dumb down my ancestors so we could not think for ourselves. CRT is racist. It is abusive. It discriminates against one's color. Let me educate you. An honest dialogue does not oppress. An honest dialogue does not implement hatred or injustice. It's to communicate without deceiving people. Today, we don't need your agreement. We want action and a backbone for what we asked for today, to ban CRT. We don't want your political advertisement to divide our children or belittle them. Think twice before you indoctrinate such racist theories. You cannot tell me what is or is not racist. Look at me. I had to come down here today to tell you to your face that we are coming together and we are strong. This will not be the last. Greet and meet respectfully.
Loudoun County, Virginia. CRT, critical race theory. America deserved to hear that mom's entire speech. You know, it took a lot of courage for her to stand against Democrats and their hatred. Sadly, Joe Biden doesn't have that kind of courage. Rockets are raining down on America's greatest ally in the Middle East, Israel. The best Biden can do was to say that Israel had the right to defend itself after he condemned Israel for not doing enough to de-escalate the situation. Terrorists in Hamas began firing a barrage of rockets toward Israeli territory on Monday evening. A total of 7 people, including a soldier and a 6-year-old child, have been killed in Israel. More than 150 others have been injured. There have been casualties and injuries in the Palestinian territory as well after Israel retaliated. But the anti-Semites who control a large swath of the Democrat Party began to pipe up right away. AOC blasted Biden's statement, accusing him of supporting Israel, an American ally. She tweeted, quote, "By only stepping in to name Hamas's actions, which are condemnable, and refusing to acknowledge the rights of Palestinians, Biden reinforces the false idea that Palestinians instigated this cycle of violence. This is not neutral language. It takes a side, the side of occupation." Pot calling the kettle black. That word, occupation, has been used by terrorists for decades to justify the extermination of the Jews. AOC, a prominent Democrat, just used it. Other bigoted members of the squad took to TV platforms that encourage and allow Jew haters to spew their venom.
We need to stop and look at the fact that our own country is enabling it with billions of dollars every year being issued to Israel, even though they are promoting racism and dehumanization.
And then we come full circle. You see, Rashida M.F. Tlaib there, offering an idiotic justification for violence against the Jews. Just accuse them of being racist, then it's okay for Hamas and other terrorists to bomb the hell out of Israel. It's the same rationale the Democrats use in America to justify the violence their BLM and Antifa thugs have been dishing out on our streets for over a year now. Now, why is it so important for Americans to recognize that socialist Democrats are the home of hate in the United States? The simple answer is so that our fellow citizens will recognize that liberals lack any credibility to lecture any of us on hate. Their very justification for destroying the United States is they claim the U.S. is a racist, hate-filled nation founded on hate and bigotry. The reason the anti-American leftists posit this absurd claim is so that you won't fight against them. Nobody wants to be called a racist or a hater. Remember the Chris Salcedo Show axiom: liberals project qualities onto others that they themselves have in abundance. But now that you've seen that the hate is what drives and consumes left-wing extremists in this country, you can simply ignore them. You can dismiss their lies for what they are, an effort to remove your constitutional protections and a vain attempt to hide the haters they truly are.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.